Here we are, the Jaarmarktcross, the classic. 63 years of this race, in the third round of the Superprestige. Big field, and it was the European champ, fresh European champ, Van der Heyden leading into the sand. Van Alphen as well coming through, and Lucinda Brand coming up. And he hit this first ramp. It was Van Alphen, lap 1 on the ramp, just leading out, having a great season so far.
Yeah, it was our top 3 from the weekend, but this was the big moment for Van Alphen. Tried to ride this banking, just came to a complete halt, nearly ended up falling the long way down on that hillside, but just managed to retrieve things as best as she could. But that was the moment she lost that leading group. Small shake of the head and a wry smile from her. I think she knows she got away with one there.
Yeah, she could have gone all the way to the bottom of that bank in a big crash, but it did enable Lucinda Brand to take the lead, and then she just kept the pressure on. And Hayden was in the wheel at one point, but couldn't quite follow. Maybe some fatigue from that European champs on Saturday, and the gap was appearing at the end of lap 2. It was 5 seconds. Van der Heyden was really good in the sand, and some of the dismounts a little faster than Brand, but that gap just grew and grew. But one of the riders of the season so far, Van Alphen, really good in the tech, great in the sand.
That was the story of the next couple of laps. Gap behind, yo-yoing ever so slightly, but it was these transition sections, these power sections where Brand was really able to make the difference. And although Van der Heyden was never quite out of it, you never felt as though she was ever going to come back to the wheel of Brand.
Yeah, both these riders ended up doing a solo time trial after the first lap, and we saw another mistake on this ramp from Van Alphen. Tried to ride it again. She was committed to it, but again, got away with it the second time, but she's used a couple of her cat lives today for sure.
Certainly has cat-like reflexes to save that one as well. But there we saw the gap to Brand just eking out lap after lap, and eventually they kind of all just settled down into their race pace kind of efforts and just desperately tried not to make a big mistake where they would lose that 10-15 seconds that they'd worked so hard to gain over their rivals. Brand almost rode to the end of the sandpit that lap. Right smile from her as well, pleased with her effort. But then there was that one rider that did manage to tick the sandpit off a couple of times, and Van Alphen, what a ride from that lady today.
Yeah, Van Alphen found herself under pressure from Helene Clausel on the back end of this race, but nobody could touch Lucinda Brand, taking her 4th win in Niel for the Glowy Lions rider, moving up in the overall. But it was second place for Inge van der Heyden from Crelan-Corentin. Again, backing up a European Championships win. And in third position, another really good podium position from Van Alphen.